Hi, Assalamualaikum. So I'm Wazir. So today I'm going to be showing you what I have done for the final assessment for the Introduction to Artificial Intelligence course for this semester. So, so I'm gonna start by mentioning all the important files in this project. So there are four important files in this project. The first one is create.eb.python. .py. The second one is the video input, and the third one is screen faces, and the fourth one is recognize faces. Okay, so for the first file, which is create.eb, this is the file where I actually created the SQL database to store the user information, such as the name and the job, and also the date in which when the user created the so-called account. Okay, so here this is the line where I import the SQLite database, and then this is where I establish the connection. Okay, and then here is the SQL command to drop table if the user's table is already exists, because I want to create a new table for users every time I run this command. So this is the create table command, SQL command. Okay, and then here is the line when in which the SQL command is executed. And then finally, this is where the connection is closed. So moving on to the next part, which is the second file, which is the video input. This is where we actually capture the pictures, the images from the video feed of the user. So okay, so right now, so here are the imports that I did. The libraries that I imported for this project. So you can see here the CV2 library, SQLite 3 for the database, video OS for the interaction between the program and the operating system, and also the date time. Okay, and then here the next line is this is where we establish a connection to the database, and then here is where we create a directory called dataset to store all the images, data images. So if it doesn't exist, then we ask the program to create the US to create the directory, and then here is a line where we include which classifier we want to use for the face detection. So in my case, I'm using the hard cascade frontal face default. So as you can see on the left side of the screen here, these are all the available classifiers. Okay, so there are frontal face, full body, left eye. So I'm only using one of them, okay, which is the frontal face default XML. Okay, and then in the next line, this is where we get the date and time and store it in the variable. This is important because every time we create a new user, then we're gonna include the date in the record. Okay, so here the next line, this is where we ask the user input their name and their profession, and also here is the line where we insert the record into the database. Okay, and then we get the user ID from the last row. Okay, and then the next one, this is where we capture the video. Okay, capture the frames images from the video using the video capture method. Okay, and then here the next one, this is the loop. Okay, so in this loop, what we did was for every images that we capture from the video, we convert the image from color to grayscale. So this is we use the convert color method from the CPU, and then we then pass the gray image to this detect multi-scale method. This is where we actually do the face detection, because we're using the face cascade, right? Which we already declared above. So And then the next one, we use the for loop in order to create store the images, each image in the dataset folder. Okay, and then we name each image according to the user ID, and then also its sample number. So this loop we run 50 times because we want to collect 50 sample. Okay, and then for each image capture, we draw a rectangle, a blue rectangle to be exact. Okay, and then we show it in the screen, on the screen. Okay, and then that's all for the video input part. Moving on to the next part, which is the training phase. So I'm going to show you right now the Python file in which all the code regarding the training, the face training occurs. Okay, so here in this file, the first thing that I did was to invoke the face recognizer from the CPU. Okay, and then store it as the recognizer. So for this training phase. And then we're going to be using the same thing, the cascade classifier to for the face detection. Okay, and then here is the line of code where the recognizer directory is created if it doesn't already exist. Okay, this is where we're going to store the training data. Okay, so right now the next part, what you're seeing here is the a method. Okay, in which we get all the images stored in the dataset directory. Okay, and then here we do the same thing that we did earlier, which is converting the image into a grayscale and then store it as an array. Okay, the face called face array. Okay, and then from the image name, which contains the user ID, right? We obtain the user ID. This is the line of code that does that. Okay, and the next part, we use the actual face detection using the detect multi-scale method. Okay, from the CPU, and then we append all the arrays for the region of interest, the x and y coordinate for each frame into the ROI variable before appending the ROI itself for each images into the train faces array. So this array contains all the ROI region of interest for all the images for our users. Okay, and then here is where we append all the IDs that we obtain from this code, right? Okay, user ID. And then what we did for what we return for this method is we return the ID array, and also we return the train faces which contains all the regions of interest. Okay, and from that we return the variables, each variable for example the array ID, which we capture in the ID as variable, and then the train faces array we capture in the faces variable, which is an array, right? And then we go ahead and do the actual training by invoking the train method. Okay, the train method accepts the faces and IDs as variable. These are all arrays that will return from the get images with ID method, right? Okay, and then after the actual training is done, all the training data is saved in the YML document. Okay, for the recognition purpose. So moving on to the next part, I'm going to be explaining the code in the recognize faces Python file. Okay, so this is where we actually try to recognize the person by using the video capture. Okay, see if the person exists in the database and see whether he or she can be recognized by the face recognizer. Okay, so here is the line. This is where we do the usual connection to the database, and then here is where we create the directory for data recognition, and if it doesn't exist, then we ask the OS to make one. Okay, and then here where we we include the training data from the YML document, and then here is where we say to the user, if the training file, i.e. the YML document, does not exist, then we ask the user to train the data first. Okay, and then for the next part, here is where we invoke the cascade classifier because we need to do the face detection again. Okay, and then here we invoke the recognizer, we create the recognizer, and then we ask the recognizer to create to read the training file. Okay, the YML document. Okay, and then here is the status for the user, for the person on the camera. Okay, and here is the user ID that we obtained from the database. Okay, based on the recognizer. Okay. Here is the line of code where we ask the CPU to capture the video. Okay, to obtain the image frame. Okay, and then here is while loop. So this while loop, what's going on in this while loop is we try to capture the video frame by frame. Okay, and then we do the conversion as we did earlier from the color image to gray image, and then we use the gray image as an input for the detect multi-scale. This is where we do the actual face detection. Okay, and then if the recognizer is able to predict the user, the person in the camera, sitting in front of the camera, if the recognizer recognize the actual the face of the user, then it will return the ID of the user, and then with the confidence level. Okay, and then from there, from the ID, it will try to fetch all the data from the database if the user exists, right? So it will fetch the name and the job. Okay, and for the next part, if the confidence level is below 70, the number for the confidence level, then we're gonna draw a purple triangle, which is denoted by the this BGR color. Okay, and then this is where we include the name and the job of the user, if the user exists. But if the user does not exist, then we draw a red triangle, which is denoted by the BGR color here, 00 to 55, and then we label the frame as unidentified to show that we don't recognize the face of the user. Okay, so here is the demonstration that I did with my sister and my dad. The first thing I did was I create the name from my dad and then his profession. And then I asked my dad to register his face. So as you can see, he's trying to capture his face. And then once the face is captured, then we train the image. Okay, so you can see the image of my dad. Okay, and then we try to recognize again the face. So you can see it was able to identify my dad's name and also his profession. Okay, and then this is me. Was here? This isn't. And for my sister, okay, this is where I enter the name in mat 3 and her profession, which is student. And then this is where she captured her face, okay, for the registration, for the enrollment. And then we train the faces. Here we try to, it was able to identify the name of my sister. So that's all from me. Thank you.